Auzubillahiminashaitanirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear student, Assalamu alaikum. The topic of today's lecture is the fifth class of anti-malarial drug, that is biguanide. Outline of today's lecture include structure and anti-malarial derivatives of biguanides, structure activity relationship, mechanism of action, that how the anti-malarial derivatives of biguanides is used to free the host cell from the parasites. I will discuss about the synthesis of proguanil and chloroproguanil, which are the anti-malarial derivatives of biguanides. At the end, I will talk about therapeutic application as well as side effects of biguanides, and I will specifically talk about the therapeutic application and side effects of proguanil and chloroproguanil, which are the two most important anti-malarial derivatives of biguanides. Structure of biguanides. This is the structure of biguanides, and biguanides is an organic compound with a formula which consists of two carbon atoms. One can see one carbon here and one carbon here. Consists of 7 hydrogen atoms, and 2 hydrogen are present here in the form of primary amine, and 3 hydrogen are mentioned over here. And it consists of 5 nitrogen atoms. 2 nitrogen are primary and 3 nitrogen are secondary. And this consists of 2 guanidine units. This one is one guanidine unit and this one is another guanidine unit. So 2 guanidine units are combined. Therefore, this molecule is known as biguanides. These biguanides are colorless solid that dissolve in water to give highly basic solution. It is basic in nature because it consists of many nitrogen which carrying the lone pair of electron. You can see that it consists of 5 nitrogen atoms, and each nitrogen atom carrying a lone pair of electron, so it can easily take a proton from the solution. Therefore, it is highly basic in nature. These solutions, these molecule biguanides are slowly hydrolyzed to ammonia and urea. So in solution, it's generally do not exist in the form of biguanides. It's generally hydrolyzed to an urea molecule and an ammonia molecule. The term biguanides often refers specifically to class of drugs that function as oral hypoglycemic drug. So these biguanide derivatives are not only used as an anti-malarial drug, but many of its derivatives are reported for as an anti-diabetic. So here is an example of metformin, in which this nitrogen atom which carrying 2 hydrogen atoms are replaced by 2 methyl group. And this is widely used in treatment of diabetes mellitus type 2. Similarly, here is another example of fenoformin, in which one of the primary amine hydrogen is replaced with an ethyl benzene. And this molecule is also used for diabetes mellitus type 2, but due to its toxic effect, it is withdrawn from the market in most countries. So, beside anti-malarial derivative, the biguanide derivative are also used for the diabetes mellitus type 2. But we will discuss only its anti-malarial derivative. So now we will discuss about the anti-malarial derivatives of biguanides. Anti-malarial derivatives of biguanides. There are 2 important anti-malarial derivatives of biguanides. One is the proguanil. One can see the structure of proguanil here, in which one of the primary amine hydrogen is replaced with an isopropyl group. This is an isopropyl group because it consists of 3 carbon atoms, 1 carbon here, 1 carbon here, and 1 carbon here. So 2 methyl group are similar, therefore this group is known as isopropyl group. And on the other side, one of the hydrogen of the primary amine is replaced with a para-chlorobenzene molecule. One can see this is benzene molecule, and at para position chlorine is present. So if one of the primary amine of hydrogen is replaced with a para-chlorobenzene molecule, and the other side the hydrogen is replaced with an isopropylamine, then we can get a derivatives of biguanide, which is known as proguanil, and which show good anti-malarial activity. The second biguanide derivative which is used as an anti-malarial drug is the chloroproguanil. And the structure of chloroprogenyl is approximately similar to the progenyl. One can see over here. In this case also, one of the primary hydrogen is replaced with an isopropyl group. And on the other side, one of the hydrogen of primary amine of the bigonide is replaced with dichlorobenzene molecule. And this dichlorobenzene molecule, the two chlorine are substituted at its meta position and para position, and according to IPEC system, we can call it by numbering these two substituents, and this molecule is known as 3-4 dichloro benzene molecule. So if one of the primary hydrogen of the bigonides are replaced with the 3,4 dichlorobenzene molecule, and on the other side the hydrogen is replaced with an isopropyl group, then this molecule is known as chloroprogenyl molecule. Progenyl, this one, also known as chloroguanide, and has been studied at anti-malaria at least since 1945. So both these progenyl and chloroprogenyls are good anti-malaria derivatives. Now we will discuss about the structure-activity relationship of bigonides. So structure-activity relationship of bigonides. Bigonides, two important derivatives are that it is used for diabetes mellitus type 2 and it is also used as a good anti-malaria drug. So we will discuss both classes of these bigonide derivatives which show anti-malarial activity as well as used for diabetes mellitus type 2. So a variety of derivatives of bigonides are used as a pharmaceutical drug, as mentioned, that it is used for two classes. There are two important classes of bigonide derivative. The first one is widely used in treatment of diabetes mellitus type 2, and it is mentioned over here that this is metformin, which is used for diabetes mellitus type 2. And in this case, if one of the two of the primary hydrogen atom is replaced with methyl group, then we obtain a molecule which show anti-diabetic activity instead of anti-malarial activity. So if we substitute it, this nitrogen, both of the hydrogen is replaced with methyl group, then we will obtain an active anti-diabetic drug, and it do not show anti-malarial activity. If we replace one of the hydrogen with a ethyl benzene, then we also obtain the anti-diabetic drug. And the third example is that if one of the hydrogen of primary amine of bigonide is replaced with a butyl group, then we obtain another molecule, buformine, which is also an anti-diabetic. So in structure activity relationship, we can see that if we substitute this terminal nitrogen hydrogen with N-butyl ethyl benzene, and if both of the hydrogen is replaced with a methyl, we do not obtain any anti-malarial drug, but we obtain an anti-diabetic drug. But if we substitute it with other substituent, then we obtain anti-malarial derivatives. So the second widely used class of bigonide derivatives are that is used for the treatment of malaria. An example of those molecules include progenyl, and we can see that in progenyl, one of the primary hydrogen is replaced with an isopropyl group, and on the other side, the primary amine hydrogen is replaced with a para-chlorobenzene molecule. And the second example is the chloroprogenyl, in which one of the hydrogen of primary amine is replaced with an isopropyl group, and on the second side, the hydrogen is replaced with para-dichlorobenzene molecule or 3,4-dichlorobenzene molecule. So we can see in the structure activity relationship that if bigonides primary amine, this primary amine is replaced with an isopropyl group, and this is replaced with a para-substituted halobenzene molecule, then we can obtain an anti-malarial drug. But if we substituted this molecule or this molecule with some other substituent, then the anti-malarial derivative or anti-malarial drugs which are obtained from other substituents show reduced anti-malarial activity. So the maximum activity is shown for malaria if it is substituted, one of the hydrogen is substituted with an isopropyl group, and on the second side, the primary amines is substituted with an aromatic ring substituted with halogen, and optimum activity is obtained when this halogen is a chlorine molecule. So this is all about the structure activity relationship. So be remember that if the bigonide primary amine is substituted with an isopropyl group and an aromatic ring which is substituted at its para position with chlorine or meta and para position with chlorine, then we obtain the bigonide derivative which show excellent anti-malarial activity. But if we substituted with it with an aliphatic molecule or with an aromatic molecule having some spacer, then we do not obtain an anti-malarial derivative, but that molecule show anti-diabetic drug. So this is all about structure activity relationship. Now we will discuss about mechanism of action, that how the host cell is free from the plasmodium parasite by the action of bigonides. So progonal function as a product. Product means that it do not destroy or stop the growth of the plasmodium parasite, but its active metabolite known as cycloguanil is an inhibitor of dihydrofolate reductase. So this is the structure of progonal, and this is the structure of cycloguanil, which is the metabolite of this progonal molecule. In this case, this nitrogen attack on this carbon atom and producing this cycloguanil molecule, and this cycloguanil molecule is actually active to free the host cell from the plasmodium parasite. And what is the mechanism of action? That it stops the production of the dihydrofolate reductase. Now, what is dihydrofolate reductase and why it is important? So this dihydrofolate reductase enzyme is a critical component for the folic acid cycle. So it's necessary for the folic acid synthesis. And inhibition of dihydrofolate reductase prevent the parasites from recycling dihydrofolate back to the tetrahydrofolate. And tetrahydrofolate is necessary for the synthesis of DNA and essential amino acid. So if essential amino acids and DNA is not produced by the parasite, so the parasite growth stops. So THF is required for DNA synthesis, for the synthesis of essential amino acid and methylation. Thus, the dihydrofolate reductase inhibition shut down the growth process of the parasite. So both mammals and parasites produce dihydrofolate reductase, but cycloguanil inhibitory activity is specific for parasite dihydrofolate reductase. So this is an important point to be noted, that both in the body, the host cell as well as the parasites produce the dihydrofolate reductase, but the cycloguanil molecule is only active for the inhibition activity of the parasitic dihydrofolate reductase. So we can see the cycloguanil avoids the growth of the plasmodium by blocking the active center of the hydrofolate reductase. So if the dihydrofolate reductase synthesis is inhibited, then the parasite do not replicate, it do not produce the essential amino acid, and consequently the DNA molecule. So the growth of the parasite stops and the host cell free from the plasmodium parasite. So the action of progonil is not active, it is a product, but its cycloform is active and it stops or inhibit the dihydrofolate reductase. And in this way, the host cell is free from the parasite. Now, synthesis of progonil, that how we can synthesize progonil molecule. So progonil molecule can be synthesized from the reaction of parachlorophenyl cyanoguanidine and isopropylamine in the presence of copper sulfate pentahydrate. And during this chemical reaction, we use specific solvent and specific reagent. So for this reaction, we are using a specific solvent, tetrahydrofuran and water, and we are carrying this reaction at a temperature of 50 to 60 degrees centigrade. So this is the reaction. This is the 4-chlorophenyl 3-cyanoguanidine molecule. This is guanidine molecule. This is 3-cyano molecule, and this is 4-chlorophenyl. When this molecule is reacted with the isopropylamine in the presence of copper sulfate with carrying 5 water molecules, so copper sulfate pentahydrate, in the presence of THF solvent, tetrahydrofurane solvent, the simple nucleophilic substitution reaction occurs. This lone pair of nitrogen attack on this carbon atom, and this lone electron shift over here with taking hydrogen from here, and we obtain the progenyl molecule. So one can see that simply this lone pair of electron attack over here, so it's become NH, and the isopropyl group attach over here, and we obtain the progenyl molecule. So it's important to know that how we can obtain the 4-chlorophenyl 3-cyanoguanidine molecule. So it's not difficult. It is mentioned over here that this 4-chlorophenyl 3-cyanoguanidine molecule can be obtained from the reaction of parachloroaniline molecule and dicyanoamide. So this is the reaction. This is the parachloramine molecule, and this is the dicyanoamide. And when these two molecules are reacted, this lone pair of nitrogen, negative ion of nitrogen, take one of the hydrogen from here. So this negative charge attack on this carbon atom, and this pi electron shift towards the nitrogen atom carrying the negative charge and producing this 4-chlorophenyl 3-cyanoguanidine anion. And as the water molecule is present, so this nitrogen gets protonated, and we obtain the 4-chlorophenyl 3-cyanoguanidine molecule. Now we will discuss about the synthesis of chloroprogenyl, which is approximately similar method as mentioned for the synthesis of progenyl molecule. So the process for the preparation of chloroprogenyl is based on the reaction of 3,4-dichlorophényl cyanoguanidine molecule, and when it is reacted with the isopropylamine in the presence of copper sulfate pentahydrate, similar to for the synthesis of a progenyl molecule. And this reaction is also carried out at a temperature of 50 to 60 degrees centigrade in a specific solvent, tetrahydrofurane. So the reaction is mentioned over here. Only this reagent is different from the progenyl. That in progenyl we are using the parachlora or 4-chlorophenyl 3-cyanoguanidine molecule, and in this case we are taking 3,4-dichlorophényl 3-cyanoguanidine molecule and reacted this molecule with the isopropylamine. And when these two are reacted in the presence of copper sulfate pentahydrate and using the tetrahydrofurane solvent at a temperature of 50 to 60 degrees centigrade, then we obtain the chloroprogenyl molecule. And this reaction is also simple nucleophilic addition reaction, and this lone pair of electron take over here, this pi electron shift over here, and this nitrogen take a hydrogen from this primary amine, and we obtain the chloroprogenyl molecule. And how we can obtain this 3,4-dichlorophényl 3-cyanoguanidine molecule? So the reaction is similar as in the previous slide I mentioned for the 4-chlorophenyl 3-cyanoguanidine molecule. That in this case, the 3,4-dichloroaniline molecule is reacted with the dicyanoamide. So this is the 3,4-dichloroaniline molecule, and when it is reacted with the dicyanoamide molecule, we can obtain the 3,4-dichlorophényl 3-cyanoguanidine molecule. So this is all about the synthesis of progenyl and chloroprogenyl molecule, and both the reaction are similar, only the starting reagent, the phenyl aromatic ring 3-cyanoguanidine molecule are different from for the two synthesis progenyl and chloroprogenyl. Now therapeutic uses of progenyl and chloroprogenyl. So progenyl is used for the prevention and treatment of malaria in both adults and children, particularly in area where chloroquine-resistant Plasmodium falciparum malaria has been reported. So the main purpose of progenyl is that it is used for the treatment of malaria, and specifically on those areas where chloroquine show, where the parasites show resistant to the chloroquine molecule. And it is usually taken in combination with atropine, another anti-malaria drug. It is the second name for the chloroquine molecule. So the main therapeutic uses is that proguanil is used as an anti-malarial drug, but other derivatives of biguanides are also used for diabetes mellitus type 2. Now, side effect of proguanil. So proguanil is generally well tolerated and most people do not experience any side effects. However, some common side effects are include abdominal pain, nausea, headache, and fever. Nausea, headache, and fever are the common side effects which show every drug show these common side effects. However, taking proguanil with food may lessen these side effects. So be remember that never take the proguanil, this antimalarial drug, on empty stomach. There have also been reports of increased level of liver enzymes, which may remain high for up to 4 weeks after completion of treatment. So this is all the side effects of proguanil. Here are some practice questions. First one is that you have to encircle the correct answer. That biconides on hydrolysis produce ammonia, urea, cycloguanil, none of the above. If you can see that if the two options are correct, then you encircle two options. If you understand that none of the option is correct, so you can take none of the option. But show that on hydrolysis, bigonides produce which types of products. The second is that when the primary amine of bigonide is substituted with methyl, so we remember that primary amine, one of the hydrogen is substituted with methyl, then we obtain the metformin, or either we obtain the phenolphormine or buformine, or none of the above. So be remember that if only one of the methyl is substituted on the primary amine of bigonide, then which type of molecule we can obtain. So encircle the correct answer. If you understand that one answer is correct, you should encircle one answer. Or if you consider, if you understand that two or three options are correct, then encircle all the correct answer. The third question is that write a detailed note on the structure activity relationship of bigonides. So you can also mention that if bigonides are used as an anti-malaria drug, when we substituted it with different substituent, or either it can also be used for other types of disease, antibacterial, antimicrobial, anti-diabetic. So substitute the bigonides with different substituent on the primary amine side and mention that whether it is used as an anti-malarial drug, anti-diabetic drug, or have some other activity. And the fourth question is the chemical reaction for the synthesis of proguanil starting from parachloroaniline. So starting from parachloroaniline, you have to first react it with the cyanodiamide and then reacted it with the isopropylamine to produce the parachloroaniline molecule. Summary of today's lecture, we have studied and detailed the structure and anti-malarial derivatives of bigonide, and we have studied in detail the proguanil and chloroproguanil anti-malarial derivatives of bigonide. And we have studied about the structure-activity relationship in which we studied two classes of drugs, the anti-diabetic drugs and anti-malarial drugs. When we substituted the bigonide with different substituents, we can obtain drugs that have used for the diabetes mellitus type 2, and also we obtain the bigonide derivatives which are used as anti-malarial drug. And then we discuss about the mechanism of action, that how it stops the growth of plasmodium in the host cell, and at the end we discussed the therapeutic application as well as the adverse side effects of bigonide derivative, proguanil and chloroproguanil molecule. Here are some reference books for further study. Thank you.